There are a few things in life that are certain. One, which is Hans Niemann is throwing a one-person party today. Maybe not even a one-person party. Maybe everybody's pulling up. Maybe everybody's coming to the banger. But he's happy for sure. Looking forward to seeing his reaction. Today we're going to discuss the game of Mike Ivanov's life in IM from Canada. This was played today, October 12th, in the Maritime Chess Festival. And his opponent is Hikaru Nakamura. And all I'm going to say is Mike Ivanov did not lose. We're going to look at the game. We're going to be discussing the controversy Hikaru's been under, where I stand with each. I'll be asking where you guys stand with each as well. But let us begin with the game. We get a Sicilian. We get an open Sicilian. The beautiful thing about this game is it's not even a dry game. It's quite a fascinating game. Bishop to b5. So this has become extremely popular recently. This is the Rossolimo. And it's a very good weapon for white to have, right? You guys know we play knight c3, f4, bishop to b5, the closed Sicilian, the Grand Prix. This is the open version of that, where you don't play for f4. You save the spring in your position. Okay, Hikaru gets both knights out. White gets both knights out as well. And very common with the bishop on d4, or with the bishop on b5 rather, the knight comes to d4 aiming at the bishop. What happens now? Push e5, the main line. Gaining a tempo on this knight. It's a very theoretical battle. Everything stands in its which way. We get takes the bishop, takes the knight, and both knights come to g5. So first of all, this is a pretty common line. It's actually quite good for white. He knows his stuff. And do you guys remember the game we showed where we played knight b5, knight g5 in the Grand Prix, and they were both the best moves at the same time? It's kind of what this guy did in this game, except it's an open Sicilian. Hikaru goes h6, and do you know what the best move for white is in this position? It's still theoretical, and Ivanov does not go for it. And I understand why. He is playing a 2800 after all. The best move in this position is knight takes f7, king takes f7, and kind of like a fried liver, the move queen to f3. You are slightly better. I would argue Hikaru knows more about this line than his counterpart, so it makes sense that he doesn't want to go into this. So instead, he goes knight to e4, and we just get an equal game. We just get an equal game with a solid position, but white does understand it. Now, as for Hikaru Nakamura, not a fan of this guy at all. I think he's a weasel. But I actually am on his side for his last two controversies. I don't think you should be banned from, or penalized rather, for playing in an open tournament, even if he's trying to qualify, right, for the candidates. Imagine being so good that you're barred or people get annoyed at you for playing, right? Like if I play in a tournament, I would be honored to play Hikaru Nakamura. And anybody for that matter, I believe. So, you know, who cares if he's farming these guys? I mean, I'm glad he's playing some 2400s now that I can at least take him out. And before you guys are like, you don't have a right to an opinion, first of all. Also, in my last tournament this summer, I beat a 2400 FIDE, so just get out of here. I beat them when I was 14 years old, 13 years old in tournaments, so I don't want to hear it. I have every right to speak on this, as do you, but just stop it, okay? And then as for him throwing the king, if that ruins your day, get a life. Yeah. I understand it's a gentleman's game approach. I understand that it's good for the fans, but just get a life. I heard these people saying, "Oh, it's so anti-Indian." Bro. Take a shower. Pawn to d6, bishop to f4, guarding the pawn on e5. We get bishop to f5 attacking the knight, and queen to d5. You can put it on f3, you can put it on d5, but be honest, guys. Whose position do you prefer? The bar is saying minus 0.21. I would take white here. Look at these pieces. Look at these pieces. These are good pieces. Am I going to go? Which way am I going to go? We get bishop takes knight, queen takes, and pawn to d5. All right, so the game is heating up, right? This is not a dry position whatsoever. The queen comes to f3 as it should. You can envision a rook on d1. Which side is he going to castle? Is white going to go e6? Kind of like that punishment to the Caro-Kann focal point. Hikaru knows all about it, and we get pawn to c4. Adding pressure to the center. Quite a nice move, actually. The best move is to take, and that's not very human. So we get pawn to g5. Hikaru's like, I'm better than you. I can play dubious chess, and I will win. Mike Ivanov is like, you're not better than me. You're saying you're not going to beat me. Pawn to b5. What should white play here? The best move for white is to play h4, and it's saying he actually has a substantial advantage. I don't know what Hikaru would have gone for here, to be honest. I'm not so sure. Maybe he would try to play another bad move and try to complicate it like such. He wanted to complicate it, murky the waters, muddy the waters, trust his calculation. Said we get takes on d5. The point is black cannot take. Why can black not take? It's just too many holes. Too many holes. This king is stuck. It's not so good. So we get a queen trade, a simplification of the position, and bam, f4. Hikaru takes correctly, isolating this pawn. White castles, and here arguably was only Hikaru's only chance to maybe go for something, maybe play for something, and that is playing king e7. The point is, if bishop takes, the king comes to e6, and that pawn is probably going to be lost. And if rook takes f4, bishop to g7, black's position is better. It's more coordinated. It's more solid. It's more solid. But instead he goes rook to g8, and again, we are balanced. We are balanced again. He infiltrates on the 6th. We get pawn to c3, solidifying on both b4 and d4. Black develops. White guards a pawn. We get a blockade of a pawn. Bishop to e3, rook to c8, guarding the pawn on c5. And believe it or not, this game is coming to an end. This game is coming to an end. Look at the times. Or you can't see the times. Ivanov has 9 minutes. Hikaru an hour and 3. He doubles up on f7. Hikaru is actually in the back seat. He's backpedaling. He's passive. Look at these active rooks. Plays bishop takes h2. I'm assuming he offered a draw. Ivanov needed no time to think. He accepts. Why was this a position of draw? Well, we would have gotten this is all forced. This is best. And this is just an impossible position for black to dream of winning. Right? Rook e2. You could even go rook c6. King d7. No, boy. No good. No good. Just a draw. 3 on 2. 2 on 1. So, Ivanov, add it to your resume. I believe he's like 29 years old. 2,300. Drew Hikaru. Who's next? Who's going to draw? Who's going to start farming Hikaru? Hans Niemann. A happy guy today. Me. Not a sad guy today either. For a multitude of reasons. This really doesn't affect my mood. But, thank you guys as always for watching. Watch yesterday's video. It's good. They're all good. Enjoy. Peace. Have a nice one. See you next time. Boom.